So have you ever tried starting something new on a Monday and by the Thursday you're back to your usual habits? You might have said to yourself, I'm going to not eat fats, or I'm going to give up sugar, or I'm going to stop drinking coffee. And it's not because you're lazy, it's because actually as human beings, we need to rewire our mind rather than actually change our habits. So changing your nutrition isn't about willpower, it's about looking at your food differently. So hi, my name's Anita, I'm a functional nutritionist, and today's video we're going to be looking at what is behavioural change. So behavioural change is a process of moving from intention to action and to keep it going. So in nutrition, it's not just about choosing what you eat, it's about building a system around those choices. It's like shifting your identity, your routines and your environments. And yes, it's totally doable at any age, especially if you understand the psychology behind it. I gave up alcohol nearly 3 years ago, and I had to go through a process of changing my habits, my lifestyle, and the way I thought about drinking in order for me to stick to the choices that I've made. So I'm going to share with you 5 practical tips on behavioural change around nutrition that are going to help you to make those changes possible. So tip number 1 is actually start with your why. So if your goal is to lose weight, ask yourself why. Is it to have more energy? Is it to reduce your cholesterol? Is it to stay strong for your kids? A clear why grounds your journey into something more deeper than the appearance. And it's really important that you do this for you, not because somebody's telling you to do it. Number 2, make it friction free. So willpower fades, but environment lasts. So keep the healthy snacks visible and prep ingredients in advance. So remove the decision fatigue, because if we have to keep making that choice, it's going to get harder and harder to resist. So when your surroundings support your goals, change is actually effortless. Number 3 is repetition over restriction. So forget being perfect, it's not going to happen. But repetition is where the magic is. So eat the same nourishing breakfast for a week, create a go-to lunch that you absolutely love, and simplicity will build the habit. And then once you're used to eating a much more healthier breakfast, lunch or dinner, you can start varying it up. You'll be surprised at how little you realise you're eating the same, because once you've got into the habit, it will just become natural. Number 4, identity shifts. So start saying to yourself, I'm the kind of person who nourishes my body. Every time you make a food choice, you cast a vote to that person you're becoming. Over time, your brain follows. So for example, when I used to go shopping and I'd stopped drinking, going past or down the alcohol aisle was really difficult. But I used to say to myself, right, if I was to have a drink, how is that going to make me feel? If I was to buy that alcohol, what am I going to gain from drinking it? So you have to sort of like question and ask yourself what your outcomes are going to be. And finally, tip number 5 is use anchors, not willpower. So if you want to build a new habit, anchor it to something that you're already doing. So for example, after your morning tea, I prep my kefir smoothie. So after my walk, I take my omega-3s. Habits stick when you're actually adding them on to an existing routine. So remember, real change doesn't come from completely starting over. It comes from staying consistent with small daily actions. So if you have any questions about those 5 tips, drop them in the comments. And remember, real change doesn't come from starting over. It comes from staying consistent with small daily actions. So if you're over 40 like me and you're ready to make those changes last, don't forget to smash that subscribe button or follow along depending on the platform that you're watching. And of course, remember, everything in small steps. Do one change at a time and you'll be amazed at how great you're going to be feeling.